guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another video in my top 10 under £10 series, and this one has been requested a lot ever since I first started the series. It must have been over a year ago now, almost 2 years ago I think I started it. It is concealers. So I've picked out my favourite 10 concealers that are all under £10, and I've organised them into categories of high coverage, kind of medium, more creamy texture concealers, and then highlighting, brightening concealers at the end too. So I'm going to jump right into it. I hope some of you find this video useful. Starting off with one that gets mentioned a lot on YouTube, and I'm not going to dwell on it for too long because I'm sure a lot of you have heard all about it before. It's the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. This is a kind of thick, creamy texture concealer. It's really good for concealing kind of obvious blemishes or discoloration. Not so good under your eyes. Sometimes I do use this under my eyes just for ease of use, and I'm always like that with concealer. If I'm just using one, I'll pop a bit under my eyes anyway, even if it isn't the best under eye concealer necessarily compared to actually concealing blemishes. So it's a pretty good all-rounder, but especially good at concealing blemishes. It is £4.19, I believe, so it's really affordable and it lasts, as the name would suggest, it says 16 hours. Not so sure about 16 hours. I never kind of time how long my makeup lasts because it depends what you're doing really, but it does last a long time and it is really affordable. This is one of the best, most affordable concealers out there. The second one is the newest concealer that I've actually added to my collection, and this is the L'Oreal True Match Concealer, and it comes in the packaging like this. This is a little bit lighter than the Collection one. It's a little bit more creamy, but it still gives you that really good coverage. I would say this one is slightly better for using under your eyes as well as on blemishes. Really, really good kind of general all-round concealer, and I believe this one is £6.99. I've written the prices down so I don't get any of them wrong. This one is £6.99. Really rate that a lot. The third one is the only kind of solid or cream concealer that I have included in this, and it is the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass Concealer. I've talked about this quite a lot before. It's the most expensive one at £10, but I think it's worth it because you do actually get 3 products in here. You get a powder with the little powder puff at the top to set your concealer, and then underneath you get a kind of salmony pink coloured concealer and a more yellow tone concealer. So it's a real multi-use product. The pinky one can go under your eyes to brighten under your eyes, and the yellow one can go on blemishes because it has that slight yellowy greeny tinge to it to counteract redness, or you can mix them together if you want a more neutral tone. So it's really useful, and then you have the translucent powder on the top to set them. So whilst it is the most expensive, if you're looking for a kind of all-round, does the job, you can fit it in your makeup bag and it's going to conceal everything, then this is actually really good. It is a fairly high coverage. Like I said, it's a cream, so you have to kind of blend it in with your fingers, but I do really, really like this. I think it's definitely, if you like more kind of solid cream concealers, this one is a really, really good option for £10. So moving on to the slightly lighter coverage, kind of more liquidy, textured concealers. This first one is from Maybelline, and as far as I know it's called the Fit Me Concealer. I know it is in the States, but for some reason I have an American version and I have an English version, and the English version doesn't seem to say Fit Me on it, but it is the Maybelline concealer that is in the square tube with the black top. There isn't another one that looks like this, so whether or not it's called Fit Me, I do not know. This is a little bit more of a kind of liquidy texture. Again, it blends into the skin really nicely. It's more of a kind of natural looking finish. Not that the others aren't natural, but they are a bit more high coverage. If you're not trying to conceal a huge blemish or really bad under eye circles and you just want to cover up a little bit of discoloration or say redness or on your cheeks, or just like, you know, like a slight colour instead of something really, really obvious, then I really like this concealer and the others kind of that I've put as part of this category because they are a lot lighter. And this is actually one of the most affordable ones as well. It's £5.99, so it's a really good kind of cheaper option. The other one that I really like is the Bourjois Healthy Mix. Now the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation is really popular and I really like that as well, but I absolutely love the packaging of this. It's the most dinky little tube. I think it's perfect throwing in your handbag, and it comes with the slanted applicator, so what you can do is apply this onto the back of your hand or onto your finger, or you can even just apply it straight like under your eyes or on your face, which personally I don't do, but you can do it if you want. It's just a really kind of useful little package. This is a little bit thicker, so it's more of like a creamy texture, but it does have that kind of lightness to it. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey on the skin. Again, I would say this is a really good all-round concealer. Whilst it's not necessarily like a highlighting, brightening concealer, it still is good for using under your eyes, and it gives you a really nice finish as well. I'm just feeling it on my hand now. It almost dries to a slightly matte finish, but it's not kind of dry and cakey looking. It's still really kind of glowy and radiant, so I really like that one a lot. And this one will set you back £7.99. The next one is another really popular one, which mine is terribly dirty, so I apologise for that. But this is the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer. This is somewhere in between a lighter concealer and a more brightening one. So this one is a little bit more pink, so I really like using this one under my eyes because it is a kind of light formula. It gives you a decent kind of medium, light to medium coverage, but it has that really kind of glowy radiance to it that's really nice. So it's a good one for under your eyes, and yeah, on the rest of your face as well. You can use it on blemishes and stuff too. And this one is again one of the cheaper ones. It's $5.49, so it's a really good price. And then the final kind of lighter concealer that I've got here is the Rimmel Match Perfection. Now this has been one of my favourites for a really long time. This colour is actually Ivory, which is the lightest colour, and I've put this concealer into the concealer category as opposed to the kind of highlighting concealer, because even though it says 2-in-1 concealer and highlighter, I would say this is more on the concealing end than the highlighting end. You definitely can still use this on your face and not just on the high points, kind of under your eyes and things, as a highlighter. But it does have that kind of radiance to it. It's quite a light texture, so you can really kind of work it in with your fingers. It has the brush on the end, which I know some people don't like and some people do. It's personal preference, because if you want to put it under your eyes, it's quite useful. But if you want to put it onto blemishes or spots, it's not a good idea. Generally, any concealers that come with a brush like this are most of the time, not always, but most of the time intended to use as a brightening or highlighting concealer and not on blemishes, because you obviously can't wash this brush, so it's not very good for transferring bacteria. If you have a breakout, you are better off putting it on the back of your hand and then putting it on. But most of the time they do have that slight shimmer to them and highlighting effect, so you don't want to be putting them on blemishes. This one you can get away with. So that one is $5.99, so again, a pretty good price. And then moving on to the more kind of heavily highlighting concealers. So some people will use these as a concealer under their eyes. Some people will only use them as a highlighter, so like on their cheekbones, on their nose, or Cupid's bow. I included them because there is a lot of confusion. I know the YSL Touche Éclat is probably the most famous kind of highlighting concealer out there, and a lot of people really think that it is a concealer and that you can use it on blemishes and things, but it is actually intended to be a highlighter. So there's a lot of kind of misconception around this kind of product, so I wanted to include them in this video anyway, so that it's kind of all-encompassing video of all types of concealer. But just to pre-warn you, don't put these on your spots because it will draw attention to them. So there are 3, and the first 2 are pretty much the same. My ones are different colours, so they are different, but they are made by the same company. The first one is the L'Oreal Lumi Magique Stylo Touche de Lumière. So this is basically a drugstore version of the famous Touche Éclat. The colour I have is very kind of pink, very pale and very pink, so it is amazing for highlighting under your eyes. So it just really adds that kind of brightness. It doesn't have like glittery shimmer in it, but it still can like really help to brighten that area. This one comes in at $8.49. So some L'Oreal stuff can actually be really expensive, and for the packaging I think that's a pretty good price. And then the other one that is very similar to that, again, L'Oreal and Maybelline are owned by the same company, so they are very similar. This is the Maybelline Dream Lumi Touch Highlighting Concealer. And again, it has the brush with the click up. This one I have in a more skin tone colour. I don't know if you guys can see there. I do tend to use this around my face rather than just under my eyes. And this has just a really nice kind of brightening effect. If I don't have any breakouts, I will put it like on my chin and kind of towards like under my eyes, the centre of my face, down my nose, maybe even on the centre of my forehead, and just really kind of like add a little bit of contrast and contour to my face just using the concealer. So it's a really nice product. I really like this one, and I've been a fan of it for a long time. I think out of the 2 in terms of the product, I slightly prefer the Maybelline one. Even though it is cheaper, this one is $6.99. They're very similar anyway, but save your pennies, I would say, and get this one if you want something that's a bit more of an all-rounder. If you want more of a highlighter, go for the L'Oreal one. And then last but not least, another really great highlighting concealer that I like. This is another one from Soap & Glory. It's called Trick and Treatment. This is probably the most kind of brightening one. I don't know what it is, because when you look at the formula, it doesn't necessarily have like a lot of shimmer in it or anything, but it's just something about it is quite reflective. This is definitely something I would only use under my eyes or as a highlighter. Again, not on blemishes, but it's really good, and it gives you that kind of really nice kind of glowy effect without being too glittery or sparkly or anything to use as a concealer. It still is a concealer, but it just has that beautiful glow to it. And this one will set you back £9, so a little bit more expensive, but again, Soap & Glory is a more kind of premium brand on the high street, and the packaging is actually quite sturdy in this, and I really like it. So they are my top 10 concealers under £10. I really hope some of you found this video useful if you're looking for a new concealer or a highlighting concealer. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any other top 10 under 10 series that I haven't already done that you would like to see. If you want to see my old ones, I have a playlist of them on my channel page, so all you need to do is click on the little Fleur de Force under this video and then scroll down, and there'll be a line of them, and you can see all of the other ones that I've done if you are interested in finding out my other top products under £10. I've done blushes and bronzers and lots of things like that. And another thing that I wanted to mention before the end, I know a couple of videos ago I did a little announcement with the cover of my book, which is coming out on February the 12th. I'm super excited. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now. I'll put a link in there for Pablo if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, basically I put up 2 options for covers and asked you guys what you thought and which one I should choose. And the feedback was, even though I got a lot of lovely feedback, a lot of people were saying that they thought it could be better or it could suit my personality better. So I actually got the chance to sit down with my amazing graphic designer, Siobhan Hooper. Hello Siobhan, if you're watching this, you are amazing. And we came up with a new cover which we think better represents me, but also kind of takes in some of the feedback that we got from you guys about the previous cover and about the layout of the photos and things like that, and I'm really excited to share it with you. This is it. It's gonna come on the screen right now. It actually looks even better in real life because we are having a rose gold foil over the title and the stars, and we're also gonna have a matte finish for the main book cover, but my name and the pictures are going to be shiny, so they kind of, it's a bit more three-dimensional when you see it. It's going to be really beautiful. I'm so excited. So thank you all so much for your feedback as well, and especially to a lot of you who sent in design ideas to me or like mocked up pages and they're like, I think this would be awesome, maybe you should think about doing this. It was really helpful, and I hope a lot of you guys like the new cover, and yeah, that is finalized and it is going to print like next week. Crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm going to put the pre-order link down below, and if you, and I've also been getting a lot of questions about a pre-order link for the US. It is coming. We're working really hard on getting it out before the book launch, but hopefully we will have a pre-order link for the US soon. So I will keep you updated on that. If you want any updates, then make sure you follow me on Twitter and use the hashtag #GlamGuide so that I see it. So I will see you all in my next video. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. See you soon. Bye.